Hey! Whoa!
Wow, that's loud.
Dang, that's loud. Wow.
Got to use my inside voice.
I didn't realize it'd be quite that loud. Wow, it's not often I have to tone my voice down. Is that the normal loudness? Just making sure. Oh, it's REM loud. Yeah, you got to turn it up for REM, but not for me. My wife will tell you that I'm a very loud speaker.
See, I'm a very quiet speaker, so this is actually good for me. It's the first time I've heard my voice.
So anyways, we are back here at the Gen Con 2025. This is the Gen Con Catalyst collaboration live stream here. And right now, we're going to be going in and talking some Gothic here.
Yeah.
Just here at the top of the show. Next after this at 2, we're going to be having Quincy from Quincy's Tavern, who's been gracious enough to come out and be a guest with us. Him and Mike will be doing some board games. We then have live with Renegade Games, and then live with Green Ronin and Artal Sorian. And then at the to send the day out from 5 to 9, they'll be playing SR6. So really cool stuff going on there. But right now, we're going to be talking about BattleTech Gothic, which is pretty much the star of Gen Con for us. And we tried to make it the star of the entire show because we've been sharing some banners. Have you even been to the booth yet?
I haven't even seen it yet. No, I just got in. I'm fresh off the boat here.
That's glorious because he hasn't seen the ridiculously giant banner of Marco's art.
And this is my first time even seeing this box. This is my first time seeing these in person. These are my babies.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually here to talk about Gothic, right? We're going to discuss just the collaboration, how it began, why in the world did we do this weird thing. Really, it kind of all started, 2.5 years ago now.
It started before me. You brought it to me.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure
it's
when
like
the origins were.
2.5 years ago, somewhere around there. And we were heading towards the 40th anniversary, and Lauren came to me with this crazy, wacky idea, and he's like, what about an alternate setting? We've never really done an official BattleTech alternate setting, and after 40 years, why not give it a try? And I fully admit I was not on board initially. He kind of had to talk me into it, and really it was just the collaboration of talking it through, talking with Ray Arastia and Aaron Cahill. And I really then I got the vision of what Lauren was talking about these new, what we eventually termed the continuum, which is, kind of the universes beyond, or it's just our way to describe that this is part of these alternate settings. And it was really impossible for us to not go Gothic out of the gate, right?
I think that was the great one to start with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited about the next ones we're doing, but yeah, this is the one that just got me so jazzed up about it.
Yeah, and ultimately, just the Gothic aesthetic, even outside of the king of Games Workshop, obviously, and 40K, which I have shelves and shelves and shelves of all their games that I play. But really, you could just look across the entire spectrum of all the different companies that have published such amazing games, and War Machine and Weird Miniatures and on and on and on. And quite often, they're at the core of their design aesthetic is a Gothic, right? Is a Gothic aesthetic.
And just something to go up against the hard surface of these mechs. For years, I've heard people wanting to have these guys fighting monsters. Just something more organic and. Yeah, that's just the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. So then once we had decided on Gothic, then we had two decisions to make. The first one was who was going to write it and develop the universe side. And after talking with Ray about it, neither he nor I had the time for this. And we, so instead the vision immediately was like, okay, so we have these super dark world that's been blown up terribly, and weird, strange abominations, and weapons of mass destruction, and on, and ultimately, of course, we knew Herb B's, king of the Jihad era of BattleTech was absolutely the guy to go to, and he did such a great job in really bringing this universe, fleshing it out and bringing it to life. There is so much lore content in this box. It's
fun
to crazy.
read. Like just reading his notes as he's developing them is just like huge. Like sparks of inspiration were just going off, and immediately ended up just like, okay, I'm going to do thumbnails of all of the art on this book because I want to see what this looks like because he was so inspirational.
Yeah, that was such a great collaboration because after we had found Herb, right, then it was time to do the art side. And actually Marco wasn't our first choice, primarily because I didn't know Marco's portfolio well enough to realize that you were perfect for this. And so we actually went out and looked at a couple of different options, none of which really worked out for a variety of reasons. And then we're like, well, okay, let's start talking with the artists that are working with us all the time. Even if Anthony might have wanted to do this, Anthony is way too busy making renders and 3D models for us for the BattleTech line, and we would never want to get in the way of that.
We got him locked away into the dungeon.
Yeah, that's right.
For that.
He's in the true dungeon down there. And then, so then it was, hey, let's have a conversation with Marco.
And I was pretty much on board immediately. Coming from a video game concept art background, I love like redesigning things. I love taking something that's already established and then just trying a different version of it. Like that just always tickles my brain. So somebody who's already loved BattleTech and loved this sort of Gothic aesthetic, immediately I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't think there was any hesitation. I just jumped on immediately. We started designing the Atlas first. Of course, we needed our hero mech. So we just started with that bad boy, and
Well, I remember the first conversation we had, and you were then talking about the fact that you have taken these other IPs.
Oh, right.
And you have run
I already
off
had a couple to show.
Yeah, he immediately came forward. Well, hey, I've done something very similar with this and with this and with this. And as soon as I saw some of the art that you were sharing, because it was just a long Skype call, and so it was just kind of mind-blowing. I'm like, oh, man, we should have just come to you right at the beginning, because it was months and months of trying to find the right artist. And the whole time you're just sitting there.
I already had
no idea,
ready
right?
to go.
I had no idea that you were perfect for this. And then once you started sketching, and then Herb's going, and then watching that collaboration.
Oh yeah,
as the two of you went back and forth, that was fantastic. In fact, we're already working on the next one, which is Rockets and Ray Guns, an homage to 1950s science fiction, and the synergy is even better.
Yeah.
Because, like, you guys...
We kind of know what we're doing a little bit.
You figured the rhythm out, right?
Yeah.
And so we're starting even earlier in the process and even quicker, going back and forth from the lore and the universe design to the aesthetics and the visual design.
And we're going to be able to push the aesthetics even further, I think, on this one, too.
Yeah.
Just now that we kind of know where the boundaries are, we know where to kind of break it and kind of explore new territory.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the... And any company that does this, by the way, has to ask the same questions, which is how far can you push, right? And how close must you stay? And even though on the surface, like when you first look at it, just like I did when I first saw some of the sketches were coming in, my 40-year BattleTech brain was like, oh, we pushed the boundaries so far. Oh, my gosh, what are we doing, right? And then it was actually my eldest son, Bryn, who... as we were looking at some of it, he's like, this just looks like a Periphery faction or a Solaris 7 stable.
And it was actually very cool that you said that, because that was in the back of my mind as I was designing these. How can we reuse these outside of Gothic? If people wanted to use these for, regular BattleTech, maybe Solaris mechs, maybe Periphery mechs, Pirate mechs. Like, I feel like I wanted these to do dual purpose.
And that's exactly what I've seen people as they've talked to us about it.
Yeah.
They've had that same thing. Now, obviously, some of them actually want to play in the Gothic setting, and that's awesome. Ultimately, we could have just released the mechs in a force pack.
Yeah.
We love world building far too much for that. We had to go whole hog. Exactly, right? We had to go all in. And I really think that I'm not sure the mechs would have ended up being quite as cool if we had not had the lore.
They're very purpose-driven
to push it.
Yeah, it was definitely something that as we're sort of developing this aesthetic, and we're talking about the Abominations and how they play into this, and how the Mechs were sort of... So the Abominations in this universe came first, and the Mechs are basically designed to sort of counter that to a degree. So, yeah, we start armoring up the joints. We start putting all these little spikes on them so that these guys have some sort of defense against these things climbing against them. So it's sort of... they feed into each other.
Yeah, I'd actually kind of forgotten that part.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe I just mostly kept that in my head.
No. Once you've brought that up, I do remember that conversation of the first couple of sketches came in, and then as the Abominations were really coming out. And so for those that don't know, I realize I should have done a little summary.
Oh,
because,
sure, yeah. Just jumping into it.
Yeah, so of course we are. So as with any great alternate setting or alternate fiction, we very much follow the Harry Turtledove mode of operations with these type of alternate histories, which is there's kind of a pivotal moment that changes. And so almost up through the Star League, it's mostly the same universe. And then it is at the end of the Star League and then coming out of the Star League where things radically change. And it's really about biotechnology that gets out of control. And it starts killing off tons and tons of worlds. And then the various armies realized how much more powerful these Abominations can be, which are basically biotechnology, almost like creatures that are engineered and have...
They can be controlled, too.
They can be controlled, and they have giant guns, bolted onto their skin, and it's creepy and gross and awesome. But yeah, you were designing that part, because the other thing we want to do is like... this is classic BattleTech. This is straight up classic BattleTech rulebook, but we wanted to add the extra bit in, right? And that extra bit then is the Abomination. So, you might think of them as like part proto-mech, part battle armor, part infantry, almost part VTOL, right? There's some cool mixture of things. And Herb did all the rules on it. It did a fantastic job on it. But as then Marco's developing these Abominations, it then went back to, if you have these crazy, insane things that could crawl up your leg, maybe you would have armor and things to protect yourself. And unlike, say, when the clan invasion first began and the Inner Sphere had no idea about elementals, right?
Yeah.
And so there was no development of how do we protect ourselves against elementals because of the sheer breadth of the Abominations, how many different sizes and how all the factions had embraced it over several centuries. Then that design aesthetic comes into play to protect yourself against that.
And that was a great way to justify calling it Gothic, too, because I pulled from a lot of Gothic architecture, and a lot of that has these like repeating sort of like ribbed shapes and just, we have a lot of these sort of spires, and so that's... like, how do I justify that on these mechs? And so they sort of, like, perfectly aligned to just be like, oh, yes, okay, this makes sense. This is why we're doing this now. And so, yeah, it just kind of worked out, especially on the Atlas, the first one. I think we just kind of used that as the waypoint for the rest of the designs from there on out.
Well, yeah, we had to get that one right, and there was quite a few iterations
a lot of back
on
and
that
forth
one.
on that.
Luckily, it was. I
think we had a walking castle at one point.
We did have a walking castle. As always, you. I'm not saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
Almost everyone I've ever talked to that does something similar to this, it's a lot of iteration and concept sketching to get it right. And so at one point there's 5, 6, 7, 8 iterations of that Atlas out, and then we get on a phone call.
We had an Atlas Abomination at one point.
And an Atlas Abomination, that's right. And so we're like, well, I like the knees on this one, and I like the shoulder pads on this one. And then once we would reach a pretty good place, then it would be time to take it to Ray, of course, get Lauren's input, take it over to Brent Evans, and then they would provide that input, and then Marco and I would go back down into our hole and keep going. And this was an incredibly cool collaboration to be able to sit here and just go, hey, do this, right? And then he'd send it in, and I'd be like, well, what about this? Or what about this?
It was such a positive experience,
push back
too.
And be like, hey, well, what about this, right? And I think the last time I had such a glorious experience of working really closely with an artist to develop a new look was with Doug Chafee and Leviathans, right? That's my benchmark, right? That's my my hallmark.
To work with Doug Chafee on that.
And we got very close with this, right? Because I can remember when I was doing Leviathans with Doug Chafee, and he's thanking me for letting him come and draw these wonderful ships and play with robots and ships and so on. And the whole time I'm like, you concept sketched for NASA before there was a NASA, right? He had a giant Marine One in the White House for a while. There are so many generals and Navy officers with his art in their houses.
That's
and
amazing.
He's thanking us for letting him do that. And I'm like, no, it's you. And he's like, no,
stuff.
It's you. Right? This is the fun stuff. This collaboration really reminded me of that and how much fun it was to just do something new.
And this is the most fun for me on that same thing. I will also thank you for the opportunity because, you let me really just get my hands on every bit of this too. This is my first time I've been able to get into even the graphic design. Like if we open up the books, a lot of the design elements, I gave them to Dak to actually make them look good, but I got to touch everything. The logos, some of the little punch outs, they just let me go ham.
The logo work was super fun as well.
Now I want to do more logos. Great.
I know.
I'm a logo guy.
That was cool. So let's actually kind of get in here and open some of these. So what we have here and what we'll be releasing, it's releasing brand new here at Gen Con, and obviously will then be coming out in stores. I don't know if it's in August. Certainly by September these will be available. So then this is the core box. Of course, obviously we do salvage boxes because everyone loves them. To clarify, these are not new sculpts. These are simply the 8 sculpts that are in the box. However, you do have the 5 atlases with the 5 different heads in here.
Oh, if you get an atlas, it'll have all the heads in it?
Well, no. If you get you might pull an atlas, and it'll be the Combine Atlas.
Okay.
And then you might pull another atlas, and it will be the Davian Atlas, fully assembled.
Nice. Okay.
Right? We'll actually get into, once we open it up, about the fact that there's some different heads and so on. And then as part of the Clan Invasion, as part of the Mercenaries Kickstarter, we did the 100mm Timberwolf. And we got a lot of great response. We loved having the larger model.
I'm so excited for this
one. And so we decided, you know what, we're going to do a 100mm. I was about to say Centurion for some reason. It's because it was C scale.
It does have Centurion.
The Davian one, definitely. 100mm Gothic Atlas. And I think from here on out, the plan is to do one every year, 18 months. Okay. We'll go back.
News to me, by the way.
We'll go back and do some regular BattleTech ones, and then obviously when we do rockets and ray guns, we'll find whatever is the star of that one and do that as well.
Battlemaster.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Actually, I'm just gonna open up this one then and see what do we get. Always the dopamine hit. Oh, Phoenix Hawk action.
Phoenix Hawk.
Yeah. I love the nacelle work that you did.
Yeah, I'm surprised that cast so well.
Leah's doing such a good job.
Yeah, this is my first time actually directing with 3D models for print, so I'm not sure how far to push things. So I thought I'd push it as far as I could. Turns out it was just enough. They were able to get a lot of details.
This is one of those great moments, though, because we did these nacelles over and over and over. Yeah. Because, one, we didn't exactly know how far Leah could take it.
Yeah.
But it was also a case of, no, I don't think that's quite Gothic enough, right? No, let's push it. No, it's not quite Gothic enough.
There's a lot of second guessing. I was starting to feel like maybe it wouldn't work out on this one, but
no, it turned out fantastic. Okay, so we'll do that. Now I'm just going to let you start cracking that open.
Yeah, this is my first time with this box. So I'm excited for this.
It is a hefty beast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, these maps are fantastic, too.
Yeah. So this one comes with a double wide map, so it's a single map, but it's basically 2 of your standard maps together. And, again, a great example of the fact that Marco touched everything. when this first came in, it looked absolutely fantastic. But we were immediately like, the tone quite isn't right.
It was a little too clean.
It was a little too clean.
Sci-fi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so Marco immediately like, well, let's put a Gothic filter over this. And he just went to work.
We got little banners, and you're not going to see the banners, but you'll see their cast shadows.
Yeah, the cast shadows of it.
The lighting was a big thing. We get these sort of the more Gothic sort of patterns on things.
Yeah.
But I think the next one's the one that we got to really push the more Gothic
aesthetic.
aesthetic.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have some trenches. But
actually got to have trench work and actual rules for the trenches.
Reinforced mech trenches? Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, no, this is with the fire. Yeah, this one screamed Herb the moment I saw it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Herb's going to love it. Here, I'll start cracking that open while you look at some other stuff. So we then took the premium record sheet idea because everything about this box kind of screamed premium. Oh, yeah, this is actually the first time. So you should open that up to pull out the little linen thing that's in front of it.
I was going to say,
so you can see the quality of how good those look.
I had to put on my reading glasses to really see them. Oh, yeah, these details turned out fantastic.
Yeah, so this is the first time that we've put actual water decals in a box.
Look at the scale on that.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Full
biggest
color.
ones almost work on the C scale, much to my...
Oh, okay.
that kind of worked out really well, and then we went down really small, so you can do it however you want.
And I designed every one of these mechs with a little space on it that would be perfect for these. And actually, if you get enough... well, we'll get to these, but...
Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec.
So the Atlas, as you can see, he's missing a few parts.
Yeah, the Atlas is headless, nearly headless Atlas.
Which might be cool on its own if you want to do a headless Atlas story.
Yeah, so one of the things that we decided we want to do is we'd already started going down this path when we started doing the Marauders with 2 different nacelle guns for like the Legends Pack 2 and Legends Pack 3. We were also able to do that for the Davian Pack with the Legionnaire. Just kind of leaning a little further into different options that we have. And so in this one, we came up with this wacky idea to do each faction. So the base body of the mech for the Atlas is the same, but then every faction has a unique head. And when
that wasn't enough. We had to keep going.
And that wasn't enough. And part of that was we thought that would be enough, but until Marco started coming in, and then there was like back tabards with big icons on them.
You'll have to glue that on.
Yeah, you'll have to glue. Yeah, something that's a little bit of a glue. And then there's like almost bas relief statues on the mech. And that's the thing that I can't believe they pulled it off.
They are so small.
They are so small, and they made it work.
The sculpts are distinct. You can actually see the difference in them.
Yep, huge shout out to Chris and John and Linda and Leah and the whole team there, just master craftsmen, and we're incredibly blessed to have them be a part of our team in making all this plastic. But basically, every time you do it, you get to decide which mech you want to make it. So we're just really pushing boundaries of what we can do, and as always, this type of thing then will lead us back into, because ultimately my goal that I would love to see is like, an OmniMech pack, and it's got 5-6 different configurations on it that you can plug in however you may.
This is a great test bed.
And these are all little steps that we're taking to lead us to that. So a little bit of assembly, a little bit of gluing, but we felt it was worth it.
And if you're, if you feel like you want to get into it and you're going to have a bunch of these extra sculpts, you can actually place those on these other little arches because every single one of these mechs has a space for it.
Yep.
Where is it on the sky? It's on the sides there. And if you would rather just stick a decal on there, cool. You can do that too.
Yep.
But you can theme all of these
I got to get the... it's hard to pick. Which one's your favorite?
It changes every time.
It changes every time.
I think the one I keep coming back to is the Rifleman. It's so... The sort of grating on the cockpit is so distinct.
When you see... So the Mini like this looks great.
Yeah.
But when either you see the Mini painted or if you see Marco's illustrations where you then have that gradient on it, it looks fantastic. I think I have to go with the king crab.
Yeah?
It is just the meanest. Yeah, I actually tell this story. It's actually kind of funny that before Harebrained Schemes BattleTech, almost no one I know would play or look at a king crab.
He was pretty derpy, let's be honest.
The old illustrations were pretty derpy. And don't get me wrong, powerful mech.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of powerful mechs, right? There was nothing to really set it apart. And when I saw the first ad
that key
for the Harebrained Schemes BattleTech that Mike McCain did with that king crab coming out of the smoke.
Almost silhouetted.
Yeah. And everyone was like, what is this, right? Just totally blows you away. And the king crab has suddenly become the absolute favorite. And actually, I love seeing that type of synergy. Another one that makes me laugh is the humble little blackjack. Not really a mech that anyone writes home to mom about that wants to play very often. And yet, you play it as the intro
that's your starter mech.
That's the starter mech in Harebrained Schemes BattleTech. So then we were getting so much ask for that when we did the Wolf's Dragoons Force Pack, we put in an alternate variant blackjack in there.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, and that's one of those that, like, it just never would have happened if it wasn't for Harebrained Schemes and so many people falling in love with that game because, of course, Jordan and their whole team, Mitch, everyone involved, so many hours into that game, absolutely fantastic. So I love that type of synergy back and forth. So he's so you'll notice.
Yeah, I'm just sort of flipping through this because I'm excited.
It is a big stinking book, full color, of course, 120 page rule book. Now, a big chunk of that though is at the back is just a really cool TRO for the Abominations, so you can see all of those. Ooh,
and that's all the direct concept art from of the Abominations.
Yeah. Ooh, so which one's your favorite Abomination?
I like the Colossus.
I was about to say I think the Colossus
and I
wins.
think he was the second one I did too, so it's kind of a
I think
shame
so
that
too.
like, I peaked early, but you know, I kind of did that in real life too, so I get it.
Yeah, the Stone Giant's really good, but yeah, I think the Colossus just takes the cake.
That's the only one that has the weaponry built into its torso too. Yeah, that's one of the images that just makes me
you're
love
probably
the
not
Rifleman.
going to be able to see it, but that grading across the Rifleman, just fantastic. So giant rulebook.
I love the primer. The art is very well featured on this one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you did, oh my gosh, what, 85, 90% of all the art in this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thumbnailed everything.
We flogged you for sun up to sundown.
If I could have done every piece, I probably would have, but I would have been greedy, so I had to commission some artists to take over some of these illustrations. But yeah, I sketched it all out just immediately. I just wanted to see what this book looked like. So you know, I came up with the texture backgrounds,
and these logos,
these details, the logos.
Oh, the logos are so good. The Blood Dragon.
Eldon did a good job on this graph.
And again, that was a great synergy of Herb crafting some incredibly cool, both BattleTech yet not BattleTech sounding faction names. I think there was only one or two that we pushed back on. Herb hit it out of the park on almost everything right away in that fashion. And then Marco's like, ooh, that name sounds fantastic. Here, let me do a logo that's going to really represent that.
Logo. I don't know if you can see that. Yes. It's just a skull, but with the gold, it just came together.
It was just so much fun. And then a huge shout out to Dak, as always.
Of course.
Our layout guru. He just makes everything look so good.
Oh, I love this. So, in the back.
So this book was being sent to print, okay? And we were already behind schedule. And Marco had sent in one set of this. This is the very end of the primer. This is a front and back painting of the mechs, and it was the Combine because, of course, it should be House Kurita. And it was so good looking, particularly showing off the back and the back tabards. It was so good that I went. It's literally at print, and he's our master of the technology is like, "What are you guys doing? Why aren't you showing this in front of everybody?" You got it right over me. That's fantastic. Let's try to get the glare. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, so. Particularly because these mechs, everyone and their dog is going to want to try to paint these. And there's so many fantastic paints, including our own, the collaborations with the Army Painter with Speed Paints, and now they're Fanatics, that I wanted to show off. Like, people are going to want to paint these, like their factions. They're going to paint the back. So it's already at print. And luckily, I didn't ask permission of anyone. I just went to Marco and said, we're adding 8 pages to the primer, and please do this as fast as humanly possible. And he did it lightning fast.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 days at most.
It was crazy how quick. And I'm like, telling Leah, sorry, hit pause on everything. I have to do this. And now that I see it, it was worth it 100%.
It's probably one of my favorite parts of the book.
I know. It just...
Because I learned so much along the way doing all these mech paint jobs that I was able to kind of use all that information at the end here.
Yeah, so good. So then, and again, this primer's 72 pages, so we're already well over double page counts of almost any book we've ever done before. We then, so in the Clan Invasion Kickstarter, we initially did premium record sheets. We did those again for the Mercenaries campaign. And we just really felt that this was a deluxe box. It was a deluxe experience, so we wanted the same thing here. So full color, laminated out of the box, all the Abominations, and then 2 variants for every single mech. So there's
full color art for everything.
Full color art for everything. There's a lot of sheets in here. By the way, I love some of Dak's
details in here that he suggested we Gothic up the design a little bit, so every one of these has a little Gothic spikes on them.
It's obviously the standard outline for classic BattleTech, but he went through and Gothicked up a little bit, zhuzhed it up with Gothicness. Okay, and so then of course this is BattleTech, and BattleTech loves its maps.
Yes, we do.
And so, we'll say that for a sec. And so if we can do the top thing again, there we go. And so this is, once again, the inner sphere, but as you've never seen it before, these are a lot of the, first of all, there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of planets that were basically destroyed, wiped off stellar maps. And then all of these are basically independent worlds that the main factions have lost control over. Herb had so much fun just beating the crap out of the inner sphere. And so once again, we wanted a map that you look at and you go, that's BattleTech.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I've never seen BattleTech like that before.
But through a different lens.
Yeah. And so I think in Rockets and Ray Guns, just like we were saying the first time, we didn't want to push boundaries too far in this first gate, and we didn't need to. Gothic doesn't need it. But for Rockets and Ray Guns, both the universe, the map, everything about it, I think you're going to find that we'll push it much further because we've already got some boundaries. You already know what to expect, right? The other thing that I love is, of course, a size map.
It's all to scale.
All to scale. And so, yes, some of these Colossus and big guys are very large monsters. So, great stuff there. Okay. And then, is there, what else? I think that's about it. Just, your reference card as always, because, got to have a reference card. And then some great die-cut sheets.
Which I'm weirdly excited about. I don't think I've ever been excited about die-cut sheets before. But
well, we've actually got some buildings you can put on, and, of course, destroyed. And then some mechs in case you want to play with more than the models that you have. And then, of course, all of the Abominations. Dak put together a great graphic showing the squares of how many are in each unit, and then a fog of war so that you can play with secrets if you wish. So So yeah, you can see there's just a ton of content in here. The response, I was in the booth for about 2.5 hours before I came here because we just opened it up, and it was just armloads and armloads.
Oh, that's amazing. That makes me so happy.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this bad boy. We're just going to let Marco...
Yeah, so I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, we're going to let Marco open that up.
I've seen prototypes of this box, but I have not seen this in person yet. Oh, man, these details are so good. Just get a little size comparison here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's so big.
Oh, man. Of course, I got to put the party hat on. He's my favorite.
We were saying earlier that
that click is so
the
solid.
new stand-in for the House Merrick faction head is we push the boundaries on that the furthest. And so even those that absolutely have embraced Gothic and love the aesthetic, some of those even can say that that's a little too far. I happen to love it.
It is my favorite because it's too far, and yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
No, not at all.
That clicks in so well.
Oh, I know. It just snaps right in so cleanly. Once again, huge shout out to Chris and John, Linda, and the whole team at Leah. It's just amazing what they bring.
Of course,
and so then, you get a full thing, yeah. All the little bas relief icons. I don't know. Oh, those do just.
Yep, they just.
Oh my gosh.
Snap right.
See,
in.
I actually hadn't even put those in yet.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
beautiful.
that is just tension fit. Friction fit.
Yeah. Oh man, I am so happy with that.
And then that back. We just had so much fun coming up with what do we do that's different, right?
Yeah.
What
do we
do
each one of these?
that fits the factions, that fits Gothic, that makes it feel a little more unique and different.
So you can see some of the differences there. They're very, very unique to the factions, and they fit with their own themes. Honestly, as much as I like to say that's my favorite, it's really a hard choice because
you did an amazing job.
Man.
I find that my bias, I think, gets a little too much in the way, and the Haskurita Oni.
I think you put your thumb on the scale for the cover.
I did. A little bit. I did. I fully admit that I'm like, Combine's going on the cover.
And it worked. The red and green. I mean,
and that's part of why is because I knew that we were going to go with some sickly color, right? Because that's just such a Gothic thing. And I just knew that the red would pop so well against that sickly color. I put my finger on that scale. I don't mind saying that. No, I've had people in the past. Every now and then, I'll have a fan that'll be like, you like this faction too much. You're giving them too much screen time, and I'm like, my favorite factions are, say, the Blood Spirits and the Nova Cats and the Combine, and the Combine's been beaten up, and the other two are dead. So you don't want your faction to be my favorite faction.
They're fun to beat up. Let's be honest. They're one of my favorites
too. Torturing a character is some of my favorite things to do. Favorite fiction. So this is kind of everything we're doing here with Gothic. I wish we could I just realized, I wonder if I could pull the stream up to see if we maybe could get some questions in here, if I can actually get my phone to open. Because we absolutely can keep talking, but it'd be great if we could actually answer some of your questions.
I just want to play with the toys.
Oh, of course, play with the toys. I don't even know where to go look for that. I should have asked Rem earlier. I apologize, guys. Give it just a sec here. See if I can jump up here. You can tell that this is the first day and we've been sprinting like crazy. Live at Gen Con. See if that pulls. Oh, I should turn the sound down so I don't cause any crazy things. Nova Cat won't be kept down. That's right. And someday I will actually finish that novel. And seriously, for all those over the last year and a half that keep asking very nicely about the Nova Cat novel, it's being worked on. It's just been a heck of a 2 years with the world tour and then all the games we've been working on, this and Aces. my work on. Oh, I'm so excited for Aces. We're going to have several streams about Aces later. This is incredibly cool from a artistic perspective to do something new and different. Aces has a chance of being transformative.
It's going to change the game quite literally.
It can change the game. It can potentially bring in a whole new type of player that's always been a little intimidated with the verses.
Well, that's the one I want to play with my daughter. You know,
exactly.
I mean, she wants to play co-op games with me, and that's it.
Exactly, and that was that moment where I, just to wax eloquent on Aces for just a moment, that was a moment where, I mean, I was always all in, right? Tommy Gofton and I fought tooth and nail for years to make this happen. So huge shout out to Tommy and Josh and their whole team that just really put together something brilliant. But it was that moment of when we announced it, it had been out there, the playtesting documents are out there, and we had people coming up to us like, thank you, because I'm now playing BattleTech with my spouse or my kids, and they've never wanted to play a Versus. Because Versus is icky because they're board game players, right?
Well, and you're dealing with all the rules and everything on top of being, the Versus. It's a lot to kind of deal with for some people.
Exactly, and for me, of course, Versus, I love seeing all these people I know very well walking by in front of us. It's awesome. Actually, one of my favorite parts of Gen Con is all of these people that I've known for years and years and years that I love seeing and catching up with.
This is my first time here, so I'm just like,
have you never been to Gen Con
before?
No,
I've never. This is
it. I did not know
this is my first day and my first time, so I'm just like,
my gosh. Yeah. You haven't even been down to the exhibit hall.
No, I haven't even seen the exhibit hall yet.
See, I'm almost a little jealous now. It's kind of like when you do the whole, I wish I could see my favorite band for the first time again, or reread that first novel. You
can just follow me around and sort of like see it through my eyes.
Vicariously. Yeah, see, this is my 31st Gen Con. Yeah, wow. I'm old.
Well.
So Ace is going to be awesome. Let's just really quick see if there's any questions that anybody has. Let's put those out there. You guys did the streamed up stage of my video. Yes, we did, Big Red. Actually, I meant to mention that, and then I got lost in exploring this.
By the way, Big Red, Brent Evans sends his regards. No. Sorry.
So we actually already had some videos and reviews that have been going out. Speaking of people that I know and love, Nick, go man, Prop Wash. Gorilla Miniatures a couple of weeks ago put up multiple videos talking about it. Big Red has just started to release some of his videos, some great community content and reviews. So if, if this doesn't immediately have you sprinting towards grabbing it, but you're still intrigued, absolutely. Please check their videos out and see if this is something that's for you. And if it's not, that's awesome. We have so much BattleTech coming that,
this is not distracting us from the main line whatsoever.
Well, and again, that's to be clear, that's very clear. Anthony, beyond going to him to get a little bit of advice and a little help because he's the master.
Oh, I definitely needed his help. Just like, how do I art direct sculpts for Mechs? I got a crash course on that.
So we got some input on that, but we were very careful that we did not get in the way of that stream. We wanted this to just be this incredibly cool other thing, but not get in the way. Now, what I do say, because I keep getting asked this all the time, is, where's my Celestials? Where's my Ares? 2 years ago at Adepticon, I leaked a multi-year list of models, and then Aces came along and blew it all up because we believe Aces is so going to be just utterly transformative for not just BattleTech, but I really do think for tabletop miniatures as a whole. That was like, okay, this is coming right in. Eight minis a box.
And after I played it at Adepticon this year, I'm a believer.
All the other things that we announced, they're coming. I want Celestials as much as anyone else. Speaking of Celestials, before we had done this, the last time I had such a great collaborative experience was actually doing the Celestials with Brent Evans. Back during the Jihad, and trying to okay, if somebody's crafting these from the ground up to be a series, and particularly with Word of Blake's overarching aesthetics that are so like, this is our vision, this is who we are.
Can't wait to filter that into our new aesthetic.
And that's exactly, Brent said the exact same thing. Oh, what is Anthony's team going to do with this? And luckily, this isn't like some of them where you just got to blow it up, right? That's what we describe it when we have some of the mechs, like the Night Sky in the Kellhounds pack. I still think the Night Sky might be one of the most blown up designs. And yet, I look at it and I instantly see a Night Sky.
It's recognizable. That's why I'm kind of surprised you said that. Yeah.
But it is. I mean, if you compare them side by side, wow, it got really blown up. So, yeah, that's actually really cool as well. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little look here, make sure I didn't miss any questions. But why, Randall? That's Big Red 40 Tech. Just upstage you, BattleTech A's deserves to be huge. I do as well. You guys are fantastic. Again, I am trying to get in here. And, when can I purchase Gothic so I can put my Dazzle camo on it? Excellent. As again, I believe it's releasing in September. Please don't hold that to me. I think I
have a Dazzle camo example, by the way. I'll look up while you guys are talking.
Oh, you should. The C scale will be later. These were literally flown in at the last second. But Gothic is sitting in our warehouse. I'm pretty sure September is when that's going to be releasing. When we get hands on the new 3025 on digital, the digital, I'm not sure. We've usually tried to be pretty close to releasing in the street date. It'll be releasing in September. So I imagine that digital is in September as well. And we could have done a whole stream just talking about 3025. That's actually another reason why some of the force packs were delayed. Like we had the 2 curative force packs nearly done. And then Ray came to me with the idea for the commemorative edition of 3025.
Like, hey, you know what year this is, right?
Yeah, this is 1,000 years from right this year. When 3025. Yeah, 1,000-year pre-anniversary. But to do it, it means we had to do every single design. So, yes, we've redesigned the 12 aerospace fighters.
And I think this was April when we
this
started
was like
that?
April.
Yes.
I mean, it was nuts that we pulled it off, and it's here, and it looks so good. Again, I can't give a big enough shout-out to Ray and on the continuity side and all of that. Also to Marco and Anthony, his whole team that just sprinted at an astonishing
Blackwell,
speed.
Eldon,
you could go on and on naming all of them.
It was all hands on deck, really.
It was all hands on deck, going like mad, and you knew, regardless of what day or time it is, if an email comes in, you're answering immediately because the lack of your feedback might slow it down, and it, we had to have it at Gen Con. It had to be a part of the anniversary. I think the Chippewa.
Yeah,
is my favorite.
That's always been your favorite, right?
Yeah, but man, you guys just killed it.
That was Alan
so
Blackwell's,
good,
I believe.
was
it?
Yep. Oh, that's so fantastic. The MSRP is standard $40, even though it's like 258 page. It's a big, thick book. Also, huge shout out if you didn't actually know, Dwayne Luce, who is the original artist for the 3025. In fact, he pretty much was the original artist for BattleTech. He was the only
artist on that
right?
one,
yeah,
right?
He's the only artist, but it also that was the book.
Yeah.
That everyone, all us old people, right, fell in love with that. And so to be able to actually meet him for the first time as part of this process and geek out with him. I've been in this industry a very long time, and I have lots of people that I incredibly respect. There's not many people anymore that I will just total fan goob over, and meeting Dwayne for the first time was one of them. And so he has a big expose talking about his process, showing the art off. Oh my gosh,
it's so fun to read that too. And he kind of took some of the new artists to task a little bit there too. I
loved it.
That.
I know.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Is this okay if I do that?" I'm like, "I'm pretty confident
please.
not a single artist is going to complain." That Doug was like, "Hey, can you push that?" You could also see the love in it, right?
No, absolutely.
It's just
absolutely.
all of these years later, and it's just his love of wanting to see this. Yeah, fantastic. Let's say Randall couldn't decide which side of the American Civil War your beard was going to support.
Jeez.
So in reality, so I did a pink beard last year to some fun to support REM. And then right after that, I did a purple one that looked fantastic. And then, of course, the question was, do I go clockwise or counterclockwise around the inner sphere? Because, yes, I'm that much of a BattleTech nerd. And so then we did a blue one. And then
it's
I thought,
and
then I said, well, let's do a green one. And we were thinking that it would either be the bright neon green of Catalyst, or maybe House Lao green.
Yeah.
And it actually came out a really green blue, like a almost aquamarine.
It's got like a turquoise.
Now part of the problem is I'm super old, and so it's actually all white, so it doesn't hold color for anything. In a week, this will almost all be gone.
Are you
but
using
when
like
it was
Panic on that,
all of it, right? But when it was super bright, and I actually said this on the Tuesday News Days, it looked exactly like Deku Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia, like his hair.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's apropos.
Yeah,
that's
I was going to say,
right?
that actually
Whereas
works
now it's kind of, a little Free Wrestling Republic. Actually, a little Raven Alliance.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, yeah, some fun in there.
They're one of my new favorites now, by the
brand
way.
new to the hobby. Sounds like a fun time to be involved. Awesome. Thank you so much. Be on top. His shirt, it's the Warhammer. Yep. Our brand new convention T-shirt. Looks fantastic. Let's see. Randall, we at BattleTech are obsessed with rules beyond the Abominations specific rules in Gothic, adding any new narrative classic specific rules. That was the only new thing that we added.
Yeah.
And then Herb took some experimental tech like the blazer rifles and brought that in.
Stuff.
They're not new, but he brought those in because it just felt really Gothic to have those in there. So again, we didn't want to push boundaries too much. I think there's an excellent chance that we will now push the boundaries now that you guys have seen where we're going to go with this,
and
we feel comfortable.
We're kind of hearing
we may push the boundaries even further the next time we get that chance.
I got a quick
25
question
looks
for you.
absolutely awesome. Yep.
Was there a mech that you didn't see in here that you would like to see in Gothic at some point?
Oh.
Or not at some point, but that you kind of wish made it in?
Well, I will say that my youngest son, so we started playing MechWarrior 5 The Clans when it came out.
Okay.
Huge shout out. Chris Lowry was just on before
is he
us.
here?
Yeah, he's here. Huge shout out to them. That game is freaking amazing.
Yeah, gorgeous game.
Right? And the narration in it, like when the original MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries came out, I was the first person, speaking of game developers and story makers talking to each other, I was the first one to say, it wasn't quite working, right? The dialogue, the voice acting was not very good.
Yeah.
The story lacked. It was perfectly fun to play, but I'm here. BattleTech's about the story,
yeah,
right?
their DLC made the gameplay better.
Yeah,
but that didn't really solve the story
didn't solve
side
that,
of it.
and so they're like, well, then hold my beer, which is funny because I don't even drink, but I could tell this was a hold my beer moment because they went to town. And even though, of course, we all want a movie, right?
Oh, man.
Not sure we're ever going to get a movie, but we all want one. But
I'm saying HBO series.
Sure, but we got a movie. There's like over 90 minutes of cutscenes. The voice acting was amazing.
Yeah.
And some of those moments, like, I kid you not, I was straight up instantly a 17-year-old kid again when the Tyr Miraborg shot into the dire wolf and kills the Ilkon. I remember reading that for the first time when the novels first came out, and to be able to actually see that again, that was so cool. So, huge fan there. And so we've been playing that, my friends and my sons, and my youngest son has fallen in love with the Puma, the Adder.
Oh, okay.
And so when he saw Gothic, he immediately, because he loves Gothic style.
I would love to
he
do
does
some
it. He does his own. He does his own dark style of an artist. He's an artist. He has his own game that we've published, Overlords in Training. And he immediately was like, because all he does is play the Puma, plays the Adder, and so he's like, Gothic Adder, when? Gothic Adder, when? I've heard that so many times. I don't know. Actually, as we get here towards the end, 2 questions get asked. Are we going to do more? We want to be really careful, right? We absolutely want to do these explorations. We want to do it creatively. We think that the fans are really going to enjoy these little forays into different eras.
Yeah.
At the same time, there is so much going on for BattleTech that we want to make sure that we don't pull too much from that. So there's not going to be much more than this. Now, will there be more than this? There's probably two potential options. One, most of the 3D models for the Abominations are all built.
Yes.
Okay. We're running into some issues.
Scale.
The scale on the smallest, just like you guys have noted for the...
Just to kind of show you what we're dealing with on the scale as you talk.
Yeah. No, just, when we did the Inner Sphere battle armor, that was... look at how...
So look at these little... there we go. These little guys.
Yeah, so we're...
To scale.
We're running into almost technology
There's a lot of
issues.
detail there.
If we can solve those, I think there's a better than even chance that we will do the Abominations in plastic.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there's maybe the possibilities of like one set of plastics for the clans. There may not be. To be perfectly honest, we may be like, you know what, we could do that, or we could already be working on the plastics for the next Rockets and Ray Guns.
Right.
So I would give a pretty decent chance that Abominations would come out, particularly when for the display case, just to show some of the scale and stuff, we had some of our own 3D prints made and put in there, and oh man, they look good.
I got to see it.
Yeah, Jared Saunders, one of my good friends, painted them all up. They look fantastic.
I would definitely lean on something Mitch Gittleman would always say when people would ask for new additions to HBS BattleTech is never say never.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I always take the long haul on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the computer games wax and wane, right? Before Harebrained Scheme, again, huge shout out to Piranha Games that have had a BattleTech / MechWarrior game out for decades at this point.
HBS BattleTech wouldn't have existed without
them,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, they were kind of the lone holding it up, and then Jordan was able to bootstrap off of them, and then suddenly we had this renaissance, of the BattleTech Harebrained Schemes game, all the incredible DLCs that they did, and now we're back down into the trough again, right?
Yeah.
And so never say never. I feel very confident that in 5-8 years we're going to get another slew. It'll be time again. There'll be enough interest, and we'll get it again. I doubt any of us are going anywhere anytime soon. After this many years, you can't get BattleTech out of me yet. So we're coming here to the end. Just let me look at the last couple of question: which Gothic fashions listen to which goth bands?
Ooh.
That's kind of. I mean, what is the most goth?
I haven't assigned themes to them yet.
Yeah, that would actually be really fun. Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
That's a great, fun little question. Let's see.
Endless Dynasty, Sisters of Mercy.
Will we get clan, tanks, and aircraft? Absolutely. As somebody right next to you, we are doing the Epona and Hell's Horses Force Pack. Once again, that got delayed because of Aces, but it's still going to be coming.
Still coming.
What's the patch sticker on your shirt? This is Virtual World. This is Prop Watch Nick Smith and his pods that are here at BattleTech. We worked closely with them the last few years to make sure that they're here because they're such an indelible part of BattleTech. We wanted to make sure that they're always here.
I never got a chance to use those pods back in the 90s.
Really?
So I'm so excited that
you
guys
get
are
to
bringing
play
them
them
back.
here. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we are here at the end. Once again, hopefully you guys had a great time. Thank you for joining in. This has been super fun to sit here and talk with Marco about all this.
Thank you again for just letting me do all this. Like, how amazing is this?
Yeah.
This is so freaking cool.
So just to we'll run down the list real quick again. Next we have Quincy from Quincy's Tavern, and he's going to be with Mike Ritchie, our board game line developer. They're literally sitting over here in the wings waiting to come up. I think I'll just talk a little longer so he has to force me off the stage. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, no, Quincy's giving me a dirty look. I need to get off. Yeah, that's right. They're gonna hook me off the stage. After that, then we've got live from Renegade Games, giving them an update on what's new and greatest for them. And then after that is then our good friends at Green Ronin and also Artal Sorian. And then in the evening is going to be a great Shadowrun 6th edition playthrough. So Hopefully you'll stick around. Again, thank you for being here. If you happen to be here at the show, please stop on by the booth. And always, whenever you see me, please, if you haven't, shake my hand. I still have my 40th anniversary patches I would love to give you. So
if anyone comes and buys this here, come grab me. I'll sign it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
I got markers. We're good.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.